Hi, Al, and welcome to Monday Night's Treasure Vortex with Gypsy from YouTube's Zero Discrimination, as well as gypsydigs.com, and myself, Amanda Digger Degaz. We have special guests tonight, Thomas Fowlkes, and we'll bring him in a little bit. But hey, Gypsy, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. I just ate, so hopefully I won't fall asleep. We had Thanksgiving dinner tonight.
Oh my, that's early Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, I can't go wrong with an early Thanksgiving. I'm sure we'll be having another one come Thanksgiving, but you know how that goes.
Yes, it was a test run, right?
Right.
To make sure it
was
still is delicious, right?
Yep.
So have you gotten out at all?
Let's see. I did. Let's see. I went with my friend Michelle and Saturday, and we went. She had been to a property where she got to go in this old abandoned trailer house, and back behind the owner of the property took her way back there and showed where there was a bunch of trash piles. So we went to hike up in there and go check all this out and look for these trash piles and dump piles and all that. And a lot of it was hiking. So a lot of it was hiking. So I ended up kind of getting dehydrated. So Sunday I took the whole day to just kind of get rehydrated because I wasn't feeling very well Sunday, but I'm feeling better now. And I'm just, that's about it. I did video, so found a few things, but nothing old. It was a lot of modern trash, unfortunately, but it was still fun. You know, any kind of adventure, treasure hunting adventure is always fun, so I enjoyed it anyway.
Awesome. Very cool. I love treasure hunting. Even, any of that. Walk in the woods is, you have no idea what you might stumble upon. Well, I got out this past weekend with the Maine Dirt Sweepers, Ben and Becca, and that was a lot of fun. They brought Jon and I to one of their permissions on Saturday morning, and man, Jon did, he kicked butt, man. He found so many cool things, a colonial shoe buckle frame, change purse, like coin purse frame, a ball button, he did awesome. And then we got to meet the landowners, and I mean the land was pretty overgrown, and he's like, well, I'm gonna get to bushwhacking it. So we were like, okay, this is a good time to kind of split. We've been there for a couple hours. It was so muggy this weekend, just so muggy. So they ended up coming over on Sunday, and I brought them to one of my permissions, and it was a great afternoon. I've, got to, thought Becca had gotten a couple large coppers. I think they're still unidentified, or she thinks maybe they're a button. And then Ben got a large cent, and I got a draped bust large cent, and a bunch of buttons.
That draped bust large cent. When you sent me that photo, I about flipped out. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm drooling all over the place. I was like, oh gosh, that was so awesome. So it sounds like y'all had a blast.
Yes,
and,
basically
we should go ahead.
Early digging for his birthday. So happy birthday, Ben. I see you're in chat.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to ask you. So, somebody's birthday. Happy birthday, Ben.
But yeah, it was a ton of fun, and I mean, it was still muggy. It was overcast. I think it started raining on us, and here I was thinking, okay, the rain, it's going to start cooling things down. Oh no, it was absolutely the opposite. I'm like, all right, raining is just adding to the sweat pouring down. It was, but yeah, it was a lot of
Oh
fun.
my.
A lot of fun. I've gotten this past week gotten out quite a bit, so a lot of buttons. A lot of buttons.
Buttons and
Yeah.
beads
Oh,
and all
I
kinds of good stuff.
I did get a brass wedding band, like an old. Haven't cleaned it up
Oh,
yet. Just the
a
band.
ring is a
Yep, a
ring.
ring is a
Oh, that's
ring.
cool.
Yes, indeed.
That is awesome.
But it was a lot of
Well, that's
fun.
cool.
A lot of fun. And then I was
Sweet.
been working on trying to get autograph cards. You know that, and I know there's a couple people in chat know that I've been trying to like figure out how to make an
I love
autograph
them.
card. And yeah, they finally met an awesome lady today who's like, "Oh yeah, that's my jam. I know how to do that." And like, "Oh, she rocked it." If I could have, like, seriously, just all the praise, because technology when it comes to those
Fantastic.
things, yeah. So she got it going, and now I've got them. So I'm pretty excited for our trip. And
Yeah.
on that note, do we want to?
We should. Yeah. Say let's bring in our guest, and then we'll introduce him, and then we'll dive right into where you and I are going, and more about that.
Yeah, sounds good.
What do you say? All right. You go ahead.
All right. Everyone give a warm welcome to Thomas Fowlkes. Hey, Thomas, how are you?
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing
We are
well.
great. Thanks so much for being here with us tonight. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Well, Thomas, if you don't mind, I know our guests don't really, a lot of them, well, I'm sure there's some that know you. But if you don't mind, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live, and kind of how long you've been into treasure hunting and metal detecting and prospecting, and we'll get that going then.
Okay, sounds good. Well, of course, you know my name's Thomas Fowlkes. I am from Indiana. I am actually the state director for the GPA, the Gold Prospectors Association of America, here in Indiana, and I do mostly gold prospecting. I do coin shoot every so often, but here it's more of a gold thing for me. I've been doing this for about 8 years now. I run the whole gambit from panning to sluicing to running high bankers to dredging to even metal detecting for gold. And find some interesting trash when I go out metal detecting for gold.
So what got you into it?
It was interesting watching shows, I want to say it was Gold Fever at the time. That was Tom Massey was doing that show, and I was up late one night and nothing on TV, and going through the channels and saw him and his goofiness here in Tennessee, and I was like, I wonder if there's any gold in Indiana. I knew there wasn't any mines because we don't have that type of country here, but I just did a quick Google search, and it started coming up that there were places to go find gold here. So that's kind of how I got started in it.
Wow, that's wonderful. Well, I'm going to have to learn some from you. I've done very little gold panning. I've done a little of the high baking, learning how to dredge. What little gold panning I've done, I learned from Freddie Dodge when I was on his show. But, man, I've never seen somebody pan so fast. That guy is flipping amazing. But I'm going to have to follow you around and learn some about that. Learn more. There's just so much to go prospecting that a lot of people don't realize. And we have a lot of detectorists on here as guests, but not as many gold prospectors. So I can tell you that Garrett is coming out with a brand new gold machine. It's going to be a pulse induction machine, a PI machine, the Axiom, if you've seen any info on that. So really excited about putting that one to test once they're still in the prototype stage. But I know that they tested it up in Alaska and found some really nice nuggets along with some pickers. So it'll be neat to see how that machine does. So anyway.
Yeah, I've been reading about that machine. It looks like it's going to be a really, really nice machine. It's going to have a little bit different technology than most of them have now. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a game changer.
I think it will be for a lot of people, especially those that are serious gold prospectors, really into gold prospecting. So I'm anxious to hear more, and be able to try it out. So, but so you live in Indiana, and you're head of the gold prospecting there. And let's see, how long did you say you've been doing this, the gold prospecting?
I've been doing this for about 8 years.
8 years, wow. Well, that is awesome. So we've got a list of questions for you, but if you don't mind, we'll go ahead and start out. Can you tell us, since we brought up the hunt coming up, let's go ahead and talk about that so we can get more into you and what you're doing. But if you don't mind, tell us more about this hunt coming up that, unfortunately, we just found out you're not going to be there. But
yeah,
because you're going on another trip, you'll have to tell us about. So go for it, Thomas.
Okay. Yes, the Indiana Gold Prospector chapter here. They're putting on we put on a silver hunt, or basically a coin shooting hunt. Really, is what it is. It's usually a three-parter, a day portion. The silver hunt will be like kind of the middle of the day. The silver hunt portion will be kind of the middle of the day. And then they put on a night hunt. So it's a full day of hunting as far as things go. I believe they feed you like dinner. So if you stay there for that, they'll feed you dinner for that. It's in a pretty big field. We're on private property. So the guy that owns it, I've known him for 8 years, but I think the club itself has known him for 10 to 12. So, and he's been gracious enough to kind of let us use his land to do these events.
That is fantastic. So you've been with the club there for 8 years as well?
Well, he's been part of it longer than 8. I've known him. I've been started there, so I've known him for 8 years. So, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So, this Amanda just put it in chat. It's going to be in Kirkland, Indiana, September 24th. I think Amanda and I fly out on the 22nd. 23rd. And Amanda and I are going to be, it's the 23rd. Okay.
Yeah.
23rd. I have to leave here by 22nd. Okay,
yes, you do.
So the 23rd. And anyway, we're going to be having a treasure Vortex table there where Amanda and I are going to be signing autographs, giving away some stickers and other great prizes. So, is there a chance if there's some people are maybe wanting to come, is there a chance they could still come to the hunt? Or do they need to be a member of the club?
Oh.
How does that work?
No, Oh, you want to go ahead? Go ahead, Amanda. You run with that.
I was like, I know we have our guest, and he can definitely talk about the people but so technically early registration has already closed, but they're willing to waive the late fee for anyone that says that they heard about the hunt on the podcast, but you have to call and register by Friday night, September 23rd to attend the event on the 24th.
Okay. Awesome.
And then, so with people who can attend, Thomas can speak to that. I think it's everyone, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's everyone. You don't have to be a member of a club to come. You can just come out and enjoy the fun.
Well, awesome. So if any of you are wanting more information on the hunt, let's see. I know that Amanda and I shared some on Facebook. And is there a certain, I think, Amanda already put it up there. She's got Facebook.com events, a link. If you want to check that out, be sure and save that. And that way you still have a chance to come. We'd love to see you.
Yep, and if you're not in our chat right now, if you go to Facebook.com or go Facebook.com, go to Facebook and type in Midwest Silver Shootout 2022, and it should bring you to the events page. Purchasing tickets can be done via email or calling, and all that information is on the events page. If you can't get to it, I think it's Deborah Smith, and the phone number is 317-964-1226. And it looks like each hunt is a different cost. I believe the morning metal detecting hunt, and I'm not sure. It had asterisks next to it, so I'm not really sure if the amounts. It was $35. Thomas, is that correct?
The morning is $35. Yes, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the silver metal detecting hunt is $50, and then the night hunt is $15. So you can come and do it all day, or you can come and do different hunts, which, yay, it's exciting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, if anybody has any questions on the Midwest Silver Shootout, Gypsy and I can try to help, so you could definitely reach out to us as well. Or Thomas, I'm sure he can answer your questions, and he's on Facebook. Or you can get on Facebook and go to the events page, and all the information will be there. So, a night hunt. I have yet to go to a night hunt. Have you attended the night hunt over there?
I have. I kind of do and kind of don't. The only reason why I say it is because some of the times I'm part of planning stuff, so I tend to not want to do it if I'm doing that because I don't know where they go. But yeah, I've watched it. I've watched several of them, and basically there's really just kind of surface hunts. You can continue digging stuff that people miss during the day, but a lot of it will be surface hunting, usually at night.
Awesome. That's cool. And does everybody get flashlights or light sticks or?
Most people walk around with a flashlight on their head, a headlamp, and we don't provide those. You have to bring your own. But
good to know. I'll pack mine.
Most people, it's always interesting to watch the lights go around and see people moving around there finding stuff. It's kind of funny.
Gypsy, I should get some of those light up glow stick necklaces and stuff.
I was thinking about getting some of those as well. Those are so fun.
Believe it or
not, go ahead, Thomas.
So believe it or not, I'll be posting a video actually here in a little while of the Gold Rush days in Ohio. And they did a night hunt, and that's what they did. They put little glow sticks around their metal detectors and around their heads and things, and they were kind of walking around with these things glowing in the dark.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was at that, and I went out there to try to help a lot of the people at the night hunt. Some people, had done night hunts before, so they kind of knew what to do. That one, they led them through this long, little windy trail, so it was a lot different from the night hunts that I've been to. I went to one, he's not in chat, but in Colorado, it was a lot of fun, where he tied a lot of the prizes to, like, those fishing worms that have that real squishy feeling. And he didn't tell everybody that. And so you're out there with no lights. This was no lights were allowed. So you're pretty much feeling around in the dark. Now you've got enough light, just enough light to kind of, make sure you're not bumping into anybody and stuff, that it's coming from other lights nearby. But it was pretty much completely dark. So they were feeling around, no pinpointers, no LCD lights. And it was so hilarious watching people the first time they were reaching down there and felt that squishing. They're like, ah!
I didn't get where you were going with that. That is hilarious.
Sounds like something I would have done.
Yeah,
as
same.
long as there's not a real snake or something. Yeah, well, I shouldn't say that, but anyway. But they were a lot of fun.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So I did just put it in chat, and I know we'll bring it up, but Thomas's YouTube, and where'd it go? It's in chat, but Thomas, do you want to talk about your YouTube at all?
I guess I could.
Yes, please.
It's a standard YouTube channel. Basically, what you will see is basically just gold prospecting stuff. Like I said, that's what I mainly do. So you may see a little bit of the coin. You might actually see a little video of some of the previous hunts we've had on there too. If you go back through and look at, they're usually the October hunts, the October videos. So that's the end of the year, and that's when we were having them. But yeah, it's just standard. It's just standard prospecting stuff. Some instructional stuff, not a lot, but most of them just of the outings that we've had and a lot of the places I've gone.
Now, do you have a dredge that you bring and stuff? And pardon my ignorance. I mean, I do want to learn about gold panning, but so yeah, do you use a dredge? Do you have just the panning set that you use, the classifier and everything, or how do you go about it?
The one thing you need to know about gold prospectors, they have all of the above usually.
All right.
They will have tons of pans, they will have sluices, they will have high bankers, they will have gold dredges, they will have just about all the equipment. It is an interesting hobby, and how fast you accumulate this stuff is really interesting too. I probably within, I would say, probably 3 years of doing this, I had a 6x10 trailer full of stuff. So
oh wow!
It's just amazing that because you start out and you get a little bit, and then you want to get more, and then you want to get more, and then you want to get more. So that means you got to keep moving up in equipment if you want to do that, because you got to move more dirt, you got to move more ground to get more gold. So you just end up with a whole bunch of stuff.
So are you to the point where you've got the real heavy equipment, like bulldozers, dump trucks?
I can just imagine coming home with that.
Right? Oh, gosh.
But no, I do dredge. I dredge. I love dredging. That's I'm at home in the water. So that's probably what I do the most. Now, close second, though, is now becoming metal detecting for gold. I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to like doing that. A lot of people think it's too slow, it's too tedious, and I think I'm as happy doing that as I am dredging.
Well, since you do the dredging, and especially if you get in those creeks and you're getting in those little cracks and all that, where you know that there's gold that's accumulated, you ought to be really good at metal detecting and picking out some of those nice nuggets, and even helping you find the concentrated areas as well, using a metal detector to go back and dredge, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But believe it or not, when I dredge, I'm more of a sight person. I usually don't use much equipment. I can kind of read things. And I don't know how I got that ability. I just have it. And I can kind of figure out where the concentrations are.
Now, is it true that metal all seems to, I know when we do mudlarking or the dump digging and stuff, it seems like items tend to stick with items. So you'll have pockets of where it's all accumulated together. Is that the case too in the gold panning aspects?
Pretty much. Usually when you're finding heavy black sands, heavy hematite pieces, lead is a big one. You're usually getting if you're not on gold, you're pretty close to gold. Is that always the case? Well, no, it's not always the case, but a good majority of the time it is.
It's awesome.
Right. You have a lot of black sand areas as well, or I guess it just depends on where you're going. So you're going to be making a trip to California soon. So what kind of soil do you expect up there? And will it be like in a creek or a river or more land? What are you expecting on that trip?
Well, actually, it's a trip. I made it last year to Downeyville, up to that area. It'll be on the North Yuba is where we're going, and it'll be in the river. Now, I'll do some metal detecting, I'm sure, along the river, but a lot of times I'm just sluicing, since California is a non-motorized place. They don't like these motors and things that we use for dredging and that type of thing, and high banking. So I'll just and we'll just dig some dirt, and it's not too awful different. It's a little more clayish than around this area, but you still have the heavy black sand. You'll still have kind of those concentrations. It's a little more clayish where we were digging, but.
So when you do some metal detecting, what type of metal detector have you used in the past, and what do you currently use?
Oh, I started out with a Fisher Goldbug 2.
Okay.
And that one, I really only used that one for about a year. To me, it was a little more work for me, because you have to manually tune everything. It's not like the stuff is automatic. You have to manually tune everything, and you have to keep it tuned. That's the other side of it. And,
right. You've got all those knobs that you have to.
So you spend a lot of time.
Right.
Right. Yeah. You spend a lot of time tuning. You're probably spending just as much tuning as you are swinging. So from there, I think I won a MineLab Xterra 705.
Oh wow! Nice.
And I didn't really use that one for gold prospecting. I ended up using that one more for the coin shooting aspect. It seemed to work good.
Very cool.
And then the next one I bought a Gold Monster, MineLab Gold Monster 1000. Loved that machine.
Oh.
It was more up my alley. I didn't have to do a whole lot of programming anything. And
right.
Yeah, you pretty much turn it on, ground balance it, and go. And I love that one. I had that one for about 2 years. I ran that one for about 2 years. And then I decided this is more how we accumulate all this equipment. Here we go. I decided I wanted a PI. I needed a PI machine. And so last year I ended up buying the 6000, the MindLab 6000.
Okay. Yeah.
Another machine I love. It's to me and I really consider myself a beginner because I haven't spent a whole lot of time metal detecting. So for me, it worked out really well. I didn't have, it's not a big learning curve, and you just have to you have to know the machine. You have to know when you need to balance it, and
right.
But other than that, that's really your biggest issue is knowing when it needs to be rebalanced, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it was.
Yeah, that is so true. Our guest last week, he got to test that new Garrett Axiom out in Alaska, and he was telling us more about his experience with that new Axiom that they were testing. And basically, from what I understand, it's a pulse machine, but it also has an iron check on it that he said came in so extremely handy. But not only that, it's got this collapsible, it's super lightweight compared to all the other gold machines on the market. So I think that's going to be a big game changer for a lot of people as well.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to, I would like to feel, like I said, the 6000 is really, it's collapsible also. It's really light. I've swung it all day and not flinched at it. It is a really good machine. Now, the iron discrim, I like that. That was one thing I liked about the Gold Monster, the 1000, because it has that also. But what I noticed about those things is that you still probably need to check your targets, because I've had some come up as iron and it was gold. So you still kind of have to check it. Yeah.
That's what Mark was saying. He was really surprised because he'd had, that experience with other gold machines, but he said every single time it was iron when it grunted, when it said it was iron. But I haven't tested it yet. Garrett will be sending me one for too long to test. So I think they were waiting to get the next test model out. That was the first run of tests. They only had so many machines done up. So I'm really excited. The only thing is I'm going to have to travel someplace. So you're not going to find much gold here in Texas, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, well, but you're close to Arizona, and that's where we kind of go during the spring. That's where I kind of go during the spring and do a lot of my metal detecting.
Right.
That sounds like the place for you.
I think you're right. I like Arizona except for the snow.
Yeah.
I love the dry desert sun, sunny areas. Love to visit Arizona. So.
Now, Thomas, when you've gotten out before, have you ever gotten wood detectorists, and I'm sure even treasure hunters out there, you can sometimes, you find something creepy, or you see something crazy, or you just get the heebie-jeebies. Have you ever experienced that while out, looking for gold?
Well, I guess I always get the heebie-jeebies because it's not unknown area for me, so I'm always kind of weary as I go around out there. The desert is not a place to play around,
Yeah, true.
But yeah, as far as seeing anything, I have not ran into anything that was just odd or, thought that was out of place or was weird or any of that stuff. I guess the only thing, and it wasn't doing metal detecting. It was doing one of my panning adventures. I'm walking out in the woods, and all of a sudden I come upon rocks that are perfectly just stacked where they shouldn't be. So I don't know if somebody had walked out there or got lost or whatever happened, but it was really odd. And it was a place I had been to before. It's not like it was someplace that I had never been. It was a place that I kind of went to regular, and not many people know it. And none of them had been out there as far as I know. So I don't know what happened. I don't know, somebody just kind of stumbled out there, and I don't know why they stacked rocks, but it was kind of weird.
Maybe they were trying to find their way back out. They didn't know the area. A marker of some sort. But so that's interesting. So have you ever had when you're out on one of your adventures, what's been your favorite, let's say, or best day in gold prospecting, or best week, or that kind of thing?
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I'm going to kind of make it in a couple of different parts.
Okay.
The best so far as gold was we went to Alaska in July up to Gold Fever Prospecting. It's a dredge camp. And it's up on the 40 mile there. And it was a primitive camp. I mean, it's, you're not going out and living in, sleeping in soft beds and you don't have clean bathrooms. You use an outhouse. But it was one of my favorite trips because I kind of like being out. I kind of like that kind of stuff myself. And it was dredging, another one of my loves. So it was a great trip. We pulled about a little over 1.5 ounces of gold for about a 10-day period.
Wow.
And we would have pulled more, but we had rain. It's Alaska, so we had a lot of rain coming in, so it kind of pushed us off our really good gold. But it was still just a great time. I will. It's one of my memorables. But I've had 2 trips to Alaska, and that side is on Gold Fever is on the eastern side of Alaska. It's up near on the Fairbanks side. And we went to Nome a few years before that to another one of the resorts, to the camps up there. And I like both of those. I for different reasons. Now I didn't dredge there, but we did. We did high banking. We actually ran a production plant. We kind of just went out into the bush and did some stream sluicing. So we did a variety of things there. And I've enjoyed both of those.
Very cool.
So on the eastern side here in the Midwest, probably I did the best not too long ago, where a friend invited me to a place he had, and we found, understand here in the Midwest, we're not, like I said, we're not gold country. Anything we get has been pushed down from the glaciers from up north. And it's been ground up, and so it's really fine gold. So, you'd be lucky if on a good weekend you would get, maybe if you get 0.5 gram on a good weekend. And so this guy invited me to his place, and over a weekend we got about 2.5, almost 3 grams of gold. So.
Oh, wow.
So that's probably my best so far.
That's fantastic. So what about when you're nugget shooting, like with your experience metal detecting, have you found any pickers or anything, any decent nuggets yet, or are you still working on that?
I'm getting good at it. I'm starting to get pretty good at it.
Awesome.
When we went to Alaska, we went to the Nome side of Alaska. I was using the Gold Monster 1000, and we found about 12 small nuggets, small pickers.
Ooh.
So that really probably kept me into the metal detecting for nugget thing, because up until that point, I hadn't really found anything. I found a lot of trash, but I hadn't really found any gold. So we went up there and did, and then when we came back, I think the very next year I went to Arizona. I got with Bill Southern, and we went out, and I found probably the biggest piece I think I found was about, the biggest piece I found so far of doing this was a 5 gram nugget. So, and then we went last year again to Arizona, and I found 3 other small ones. So I'm starting to get the idea, the hang of this gold, this metal detector for gold.
Sounds like you are. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Do you have a gold dance that you do when you're out with the detector finding it?
I may have a little one, but I don't think I'll ever show it.
All right.
Oh, love it. Yeah, you got to have a gold dance. And then when you hit it rich, I think that's when it really just comes naturally, I bet, where if you strike it big, I bet you'd be jumping up and down and doing all kinds of dances and wouldn't care who's right.
Yeah. If I can find one big enough, I'll be doing it. You won't have to worry about it.
Right? Oh, boy. Yeah, that's funny. Somebody sent me the other day, I think it was on Facebook, it was like, this is how you do a gold dance, because they were asking if I did a dance after, I think it was my platinum ring that I had found. And I was like, maybe, but I was in the water when I found it, so. But they showed me the proper gold dance, and it was a gold prospector doing this little dance. It was funny.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I need to learn how to do that dance.
That's awesome.
Yep. Just short one. I got to find one in California. That's the only place I haven't found one yet. I mean, I've found one stream sluicing. I just haven't found one detecting yet.
Well, wishing you the best luck when you go find lots, and just say, that luck came from Amanda and Gypsy from the Treasure Vortex, sending you on into the gold vortex. So, strike it big. And I mean, you can share a little if you want. We wouldn't mind.
Okay, no problem.
And I mean, if you're ever on the, decide to come to the East Coast, we do have gold here in Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, and we have relics to dig with the metal detector too. So.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'd like to do too, is just to kind of look for some relics. Because I always liked history, so I always thought that was, to find some part of history would be huge for me.
Yeah, especially over there where Amanda lives, because you heard about their hunt yesterday. Oh, all these colonial, don't even speak to me about colonial. No. I've had a blast going up there, visiting my friends up there, and Amanda's always been so gracious to take me to her spots. And last time we did metal detecting and some bottle digging, and it was just amazing. It was amazing. Right, Amanda?
Yeah, now we just need to get into the gold panning.
Yeah.
Just
you can visit me anytime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would visit anytime. I wish I was going to be here. Then we could.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. What we need to do, Thomas, if you come across any old, what I'm looking for, I'm starting my own production company. So if you hear of any ghost towns that have any, like an old abandoned town that might have an old mine on it, I'll go prospecting. I'm looking for stuff like that to film at, and we can definitely have you on the show doing some prospecting too. So,
okay, yeah.
Let me know if you run across or hear about any of those types of places, because starting to do the scouting and stuff for that. So.
Oh yeah, we'll do. That's easy. That's too easy.
Oh, wonderful!
Now
I know who to call.
I know the bucket list is probably a little bit different for you. With, I would say maybe it's a place you'd want to visit more so than finding. But what would be, a bucket list place, I guess, to visit to find gold?
Oh, my bucket list place right now, I've already made Alaska and California. So my next one would be Australia. That would probably be the top of my list.
Oh, yes, for sure.
It looks like it'd be a good place to just kind of go, because I've never been to that part of the world either. So I spent 30 years in the military, so I've gone to a lot of places, and that's not one of them. So I'd kind of like to go there and just kind of do some metal detecting and see what I could find. Just even see the place would be nice.
Right. For me, just getting to go there would be the bucket list thing, but that would be the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, getting to go prospect there. That would be amazing. So I definitely can see how that's definitely a bucket lister for you.
Yeah, I'll keep working at it. You see.
And it's crazy because that's on my list of nopes.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
You don't want to get lost out in the bush?
I think it's based on the fact that the poisonous creatures and the giant spiders, and I'm good.
Oh, you could definitely get eaten up by a bear. What I mean?
Yeah.
Right? She's got other dangers. Here in Texas, it's Texas-sized spiders and snakes, but where she lives, it's bears and I don't know what all else.
Coyotes and
lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my!
Yep. No lions and tigers. We got the coyotes though, and the foxes don't bother you. The bears, yeah, we got the bears. But yeah, okay. So maybe it's not on the list of no's. But have you seen the size of the spiders over there? They're like
everything is deadly over there. But, if all those people live there, it can't be that awful bad.
That's true. That's very true. And I saw, some people name them and they become pets. So
I'm not going that far now.
No, thank you. I'll pass on that one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that cute little turtle I saw when Michelle and I were out? No, it was Saturday. I met a new friend. It's a cute little turtle. Now I don't mind meeting those kind of creatures, and when you're out.
Yeah, the turtles are cute. So Thomas, have you ever visited like an old shut down like mine shaft or anything like that, like an old mine? Just to like check around. Like I don't know if like abandoned mines are allowed to be, for you to go and adventure and kind of look for treasure.
I went. I guess the only one I think I really did, and it was kind of closed down. It's really not. I couldn't get into it. But there was one in California last year, and it was off up into the hills there. So we went up there. We were looking for crystals. There, a guy had found a place up there where there was some crystalline structures in some rock up there, and the wife wanted to get a piece of it. So we went up there and we walked down the path, and we walked past where the stuff was actually at, and we ran into an old mine. It was just an old mine that had been gated up there, which was really interesting because the entrance was probably only about maybe 20 feet from the edge of a drop off. So I was like, I'm not sure how they were working this, but
Wow.
it was kind of an interesting little place there.
And not like a collapse or anything. It was actually down.
It was no, it wasn't collapsed. It was just a cave. It was a caved entrance. It had, like you said, it was gated. It was gated shut. But and I think it was like an 1800s mine, something like that. I can't remember what the date was on the placard there, but yeah, it was just out there. I mean, you probably wouldn't even know it unless you stumbled on it. And I couldn't find any record of it, but I haven't really looked hard. But the mining stuff I do for my research doesn't show this mine, so
interesting. That might be a good place to metal detect around too.
Well, I tried, and there was no dump. There was no piles of anything. I know it was it, and so the only thing I can figure out is that they were carting it off and maybe dumping it off on this drop off, because there was really kind of no place to stack stuff. To kind of store your waste. So they must have just been dropping it off the edge of this drop off. So I don't.
And you found it. You found it going out looking for crystals. So
yeah.
What type of crystals?
Oh, they were just quartz crystals.
Quartz. Very nice. That's something else. I used to love to rock hound. So crystals? Where? I got to go check them out. Different minerals and gems. Yep. Add that to the list as well.
Yeah, it was an interesting little place. But like I said, it was definitely, you wouldn't know it was there unless you just happened to be walking that way. And it wasn't like it was a main path; it was off of the main path. So it was a little ways down the trail off the main path.
Very cool. Yeah, you never know about some of those shafts too. I know that, like the one we went to, and let's see, where we filmed in the Beyond one, that shaft went straight down. So in modern times, they built, a metal ladder to help us get down there. Mm-hmm. But, you can imagine what they used to do back then. I mean, I don't know if they slid down on a rope, several ropes, a lot of the times you couldn't rappel down some of those. So if they built rickety, wooden ladders to get down, it makes you wonder, some of these people that lived and braved some of those old gold prospecting, mining and shafts, those have to have been some tough birds, you know it?
Oh, they were. They were. You just go back and really look at some of the stories of some of the things they just did. I mean, in Nome, they built a railroad. It went no place, but they built it. They brung steam engines. They did all of this in the only way to get to Nome is either by boat. In today's days, either by boat or by plane. That's the only way to get there.
Right.
There's no roads going there. So they had to boat all this stuff up, and then they had to cart it out into the bush, and they had to build a railroad there. It's crazy. I mean, these guys were just tough. They were just tough.
Very, very tough.
They had to have been. I mean, and not only that, like when I went up in Michigan last year? Gosh, time flies. I don't even know. I guess it was last year. Do you remember when I went to the copper mines and I went and helped Marty Lagina? You remember look for the float copper? Is that last year or the year before?
No idea. I think last year, maybe.
I think it was last year. But just going in those old mines and seeing some of the equipment that they use, like those giant hammers and just all of that stuff, and how they even got that stuff down in there, and then just how they manned one of those all day and all the different stuff. It's just mind-blowing. the equipment and what they went through.
Yeah, they did some remarkable stuff. They shifted rivers to run stuff, to be able to get the gold in part of the rivers that weren't there. They couldn't get to. They were just did some. They were just some tough people.
Right, and with modern technology and all the stuff that we have now, and what's so fascinating is, people going back to these old mines and finding, a lot of this, stuff just even in their tailings, their tailing piles, how much got kicked out, and still going down in these mines and pulling all kinds of stuff because there was no way to get it all,
Yeah, they only wanted the best. That was their whole goal. They didn't care about the smaller stuff that we find a lot of now. That stuff they didn't care about. They were looking for the biggest and the best.
So true. So true. And it was the same with the copper mines. I learned too when we went. They went down there and got the big loads of it, and they left a lot of the smaller pieces. There was only a few places that smelted it down to make those bars and stuff. And I'm sure it's like you said, the same way with the gold. I mean, the really fine gold, a lot of it they didn't really mess with. They were after the big veins and that type of thing. So very cool. I think we're almost. Sorry, we're about running out of time, aren't we? I know we've got a few more questions for you before we close it out. If anybody has any questions for Thomas, go ahead and drop it in the chat. You've got a few more questions left, Amanda.
We actually went through the list and then some. So.
Wow. Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah. I mean, thank you so much, Thomas, for coming on. It really is really sad to know that we won't be able to meet you in person. I do know I've seen you in chat before, even all the way back when we were all metal mode. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome to have you on and hear some about this gold panning, and now we know who we can contact and be like, hey.
Yeah, anytime. Yes, you can even call me to have me come up to your area since I've never been up that way.
Yeah,
a guy that's been asking me to come up there, but I haven't made it up that way yet.
Well, I hear there's definitely gold in, is it Vermont?
Vermont, yeah. Scott does panning in the rivers in Vermont, and
Scott's in our chat tonight. So yeah, we might have to plan a trip. I'm all for a gold trip. So
Scott,
hey, I need a place to test out that new new detector.
Time for you to get to work.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Like Scott, we're inviting ourselves into to your river. But no. All right. Well, thank you so much again for coming on. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. And yeah.
My pleasure.
We sure appreciate it, and we'll definitely have to have you back again in the future. And since we're missing you this time, like we said, Scott said, hey, yeah, you are welcome to come up. So we might have to bug Scott soon. Since I missed the last hunt y'all got to do, we'll just plan a metal detecting / gold prospecting trip and start planning it. And sounds good to me. Let's do it. All right. Well, thanks again, Thomas. We appreciate it. And thank you all for being in chat and listening. And we appreciate all of you. And you all have a wonderful night and enjoy the rest of your week. And I hope you find many, many treasures, whether it be in people or literal treasures. I don't know. what I'm trying to say.
All right. Well,
good night,
everyone.
Good night. Thanks for joining.